Hello, juniors. Oh, I just kicked over my space heater. We are your counseling team. I'm going to introduce everybody so that you can know who your counselor is. Hopefully you already know and have been in contact with them. But as soon as they see their names, they'll give you a wave and then they are going to exit the screen. For West counselors, we have Mr. Boshin, Mr. Myers, Miss Zaranana, Miss Nicole Bacigalupo, myself, Mrs. Schock, Miss Sadler, Mrs. Jenna McLaughlin is our school counseling intern. And then we have our two East counselors, Mr. Mankey, and then also Mrs. Frederick. So today, what we are going to go over with you guys is we're going to discuss your graduation requirements. So that is everything, obviously, that you need to earn your high school diploma. We are also going to go over with you your senior course requirements. So anything left over that you haven't taken yet, we're going to make sure that you select that in your course selection process today. We're also going to talk to you about the new classes that are being offered for the 2021-22 school year. And then we'll talk about the course selection process, the timeline, how that's all going to work, and then how you're going to select your courses in Skyward. And then lastly, we'll talk about resources available to you guys during this process and when counselors will be available to you. And then we'll go over any questions that you might have at the end. So that's what we're going to be discussing today. And then I'm going to hand it over to Mr. Myers right now.
Hi, everybody. So as soon as Mr. Mankey gets the next slide up there, we can go through what you need to know for graduation requirements. Okay, so you can just look on here, but what you must complete before you graduate is 4 years of English. So that's 8 semesters. Some of you coming in may have taken a class like Honors Research and Rhetoric, or you might have taken Journalism, Newspaper. Those all count towards those 4 years. So think about what English classes you've signed up for, not only this year, but prior to. Then you need 3 years of math, 3 years of science, 2.5 years of social science, 1 semester of health, and then you'll have 3.5 years of phys ed, PE. Driver's education, whether you took it here or you took it privately somewhere, but that's a graduation requirement, is make sure you've taken the classroom portion of driver's ed. You need a semester of consumer ed, and then 7 electives. So 7 electives would be 14 semesters. So a total of 24 credits. So what does this mean over there on the right? So if you do not pass a core requirement this year, you'll need to repeat it in addition to the core requirements for next year. To know if you're going to be considered a senior next year, a 12th grader, you need to have earned by the end of this year, you need to earn 18 credits. So finish your junior year strong, like it says there, because you're going to use your cumulative grade point average at the end of this semester, and you're going to start applying to look at your post-secondary plans. So finishing junior year and really having a good second semester is key. All right, next slide, please. So senior course requirements, what are they? Most of you will need 1.0 of English, so 1 full year, 2 semesters of English. AP Lit and Comp would cover, AP Lit, excuse me, would cover that. And then you could do English 4, College Comp English, which is now called College Comp English 151, or you could take the non-honors College Composition class. If you took one of those 3, if you didn't want to take the year long of AP Lit, then you'd have to find another additional English elective. But if you do not take AP Lit, you'll need to take one of those 3, English 4, College Comp 151, or College Comp non-honors. Then down below, next is consumer. So everyone needs to have consumer credit semester worth. So you can take consumer education. You could take the digital, which usually has a grade point average requirement with it. So if you want to take a class digitally, then then you could do that. Or you could take it over the summer. Consumer is always offered during the summer. If you don't want to do that, there's also a class called Independent Living, and some of you may be in that now because you could take that during your junior year. So if you're taking Independent Living now, you don't have to worry about Consumer senior year. Everyone needs government, though. You could opt for one full year, the AP track, AP Government, or you could wait till next year and take a semester, or wait till next year and also take a semester of government and civics. Or if you want to get it out of the way, just like Consumer, you can take it over the summer. And everybody else needs 1 year of physical education as well. Driver's education is also a requirement. Like I've mentioned before, you need to pass the classroom portion of driver's ed, whether that's here or whether that's private. If you've taken if you've taken the classroom portion at Top Driver or Midwest or someplace like that, and you finished, that certificate of completion, you can just scan that or take a picture on your phone and send it to your counselor, and that's enough. If you want to wait till you get your driver's license, you can send us a picture of that as well. But passing driver's ed classroom is a requirement for driver's ed. If you're interested in graduating early, we have that highlighted in yellow down there. Make sure you're talking to your counselor about the application process in your meetings with us. You do need 20.5 credits by August of senior year to qualify for that. So if you have any questions about anything that I went over, reach out to any one of your counselors. So I'm going to pass it on to the next. Thank you. Have a great day, guys.
Good afternoon, juniors. Is there an Anna here? I'm going to talk a little bit about course level changes, and I believe I'm also going to touch on some Distinguished Warrior reminders. In regards to course level change, what the process is for this year, it is very similar to last year. This is in accordance with if you want to change a core placement class. So for example, if you were recommended for English 2 and you would instead like to take Honors English 2, these are the 2 steps that you need to follow in order to accomplish that. So the first one is you will send an email directly to the divisional and include your counselor on that email as well. To the right, you'll see the divisional contacts. I'll go through them real quick. But you'll send a quick email requesting your change. Make sure to include what class you want to take and why it's a better fit from you. And this is moving whether you're deciding to move up or down. So for example, you were recommended for Honors English 2 and instead think that English 2 would be a better fit. This is the same process that you would follow. After that happens, the divisional will go ahead and contact parents with their decision and letting you know whether that change has been approved or denied. Once it's been approved or denied, then your counselor can go ahead and make that change for you scheduling wise. To the right is our contacts for the divisionals. We'll have this posted for you guys as well, so you will be able to look these up. But English is Mrs. Namakudis. Our social science is Mr. Sterner. For the math department, it's Mr. Custodio. Science is Mr. Beagle. And then any fine arts or world language is Mrs. Bennett. Important thing to note here is there is a level change deadline due to scheduling and how we make sure that we can rearrange everything in time for next year. Your level change deadline, meaning the last date to request a change for next year, is February 26th. So you need to make sure that if you've been going over your core placement requests with your parents and you're having those discussions, that if there is something you want to change, you need to send that email in before that date. Again, we'll post this procedure in Schoology for you as well, in addition to these slides in this presentation. Want to move on to the next or go back one maybe. There we go. Distinguished Warrior reminder. This is just a quick reminder for all of you, knowing that you're entering now your senior year. There's this link to the page, to the Distinguished Warrior page on our district website. From here, you can view, there are the two different types of tiers of Distinguished Warrior that were created from last year, still being implemented obviously this year. just think about this or have this in mind in regards to course selection, because there are several indicators that need to be met for Distinguished Warrior in relation to the types of classes that you guys select. So for example, your ELA indicators, take a look at those, your SAT, ACT, dual credit course requirements, AP course or AP exam. So the link is there for you guys to check it out. Also, go ahead and jump into your dashboard, your Warrior dashboard, and there's where it shows off, the things that you have left to accomplish to earn DW status, or the things you have already completed. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out to either your counselors for a quick update or any of the admin at either building. I'm going to pass it along now to our counseling intern, Miss McLaughlin, for the next few slides.
So next we're going to talk about electives. This is where you get to be creative.
I'm going to jump in here for a quick second while we figure some things out.
Sorry about the technical glitch. We're in
There we go.
2021.
Elective choices, Ms. McLaughlin. I hear you loud and clear.
Elective courses. We want to be sure that you're selecting electives that are of interest to you. So if you remember back from freshman year, you did the English career paper and you selected career clusters. And what you would want to do is kind of base your electives based off of those career clusters. So this is your time to explore different options. However, if you are looking to be on the path to college, they typically like to see somewhat of a structured course progression in a certain pathway. A lot of the capstone classes lead the way to certain certifications, such as Warrior Chef. Once you've taken the pathway and successfully completed the courses, you would get, for example, a food and handler certificate. So that can help you pursue a career after school. For review, we have the career cluster pathway document on here, and this will kind of guide you to what electives you will want to take based off of, again, your career cluster. It also lists the eligibility for NCAA and college requirements. If you don't remember what your career clusters were from freshman year, since it was so long ago, that's not a big deal. You can always look it up on Naviance and view those there. And I am going to pass it along to Miss Bocci.
Hi, everyone. So if you haven't heard of blended learning, I'm going to give you a quick definition. So blended learning is taking both the in-class face-to-face instruction and adding out-of-class digital activities. So students who take a blended course spend time in their traditional classroom setting with their teachers, but they also have time outside of that classroom setting to work on different projects, either individually or with groups. We've increased our blended offerings a ton this year, so it's really exciting for our juniors because last year we only had a few options and they were very elective heavy. This year we've increased our courses up to 52 blended courses, and as you can see, we have courses in all content areas in addition to electives. If you're interested in a blended course, there is a video in Schoology, and there is more information in your curriculum guide as well. One benefit of taking a course blended is that it gives students more autonomy over both their education, their time management, and how they utilize their time and progress in this course. And they still have a lot of support from their teachers. So we really encourage students and families to give blended learning a chance. I'm now going to pass the baton on to Mrs. Frederick.
All right. Hi, everyone. I am going to be talking to you about new courses for next school year, and we have some really exciting opportunities for seniors next year to take advantage of new curriculum. I'm going to try to briefly give you an introduction to each course, but the full description of courses are listed on our curriculum guide, which can be found on our district website and on our Schoology page. So Stagecraft is a new course in our theater pathway. So students who are interested in theater and specifically kind of behind the scenes, so lighting, sound, makeup design, costume design, this would be a class that would fit your interests. Wind Ensemble is a new band course. So if you are in band, I would definitely talk to Mr. Heil about this option for next year. There is an honors option as well. And I believe there are auditions in April. Swimming Basics is a new PE course, and this is if you just want to get more comfortable feeling safe in the water before taking lifeguarding. You're going to learn the different swim strokes and just the basic skills of swimming. 0 Hour Fit for Life is a new 0 hour PE option. So if you want to take Fit for Life before first period, this will be available next year. Adventure Education. This is an exciting new class for juniors and seniors. So this is a PE option that is really geared towards students who are interested in outdoor activities. So things like archery, mountain biking, snowshoeing. This is going to be a very exciting new class opportunity for students to take advantage of. Team sports is really what we would have called PE in the past. It's just a name change. So you'll see team sports as an option. And then we have broadcast journalism. Broadcast journalism is a new semester-long course, and this is going to be for students who are interested in reporting, interview skills, writing skills, production, and this is a semester-long. Honors drones and unmanned flight. So this is an exciting new course. It's a semester long for juniors and seniors. And you had to have taken a year of an engineering course or computer science to qualify. There is a $35 fee, but at the end of the course, you get to leave with a small drone of your own. And you will be working on flight simulations, and a couple days a week you'll be outside flying a drone. So this is an exciting course. French 3 and German 3. These are both blended and dual credit, meaning you will receive high school credit and college credit upon completing these courses. Leadership in Action. This is for students who are thinking about participating in SLT or LINK next year. Those activities are now going to be in a class format. You'll sign up and you will go to the freshman campus a couple days a week and work as a mentor with our freshman students in AIM. So if that is something you were thinking about doing SLT or LINK, this is what you're going to want to sign up for. AP Comparative Government. So in the past, seniors could take AP US Government and Comparative Government. It was one class together that was a year long. Those are going to be split up for next year. And AP Comparative Government is going to be a semester long, focusing on international issues. It does not fulfill your government requirements, so this is just an elective course. So definitely, if you're interested in international issues at the AP level, this is going to be a class that you would be wanting to sign up for. The last two classes are just name changes. So Learning in a Digital World will now be called Current Events in a Digital World, and Intro to Psychology will now be called Psychology in the World Today. So now I'm going to pass things over to Ms. Sadler, who's going to discuss summer school.
All right. Hi, guys. I'm Ms. Sadler. So summer school options. So as a junior, to get ahead, we have several options leading into your senior year. There is our summer school website. Registration has opened today, so you can get started. Summer school courses are first come, first serve. So the sooner that you do register, the quicker you'll get a seat, because there is only a certain amount of seats available. The options we have for Get Ahead are Consumer Ed, Government, Culinary 1, Culinary 2, Spanish 1, and Stagecraft. Consumer Ed and Government are both classes required during senior year, but you can get ahead with that by taking it this summer. The Culinary 1 and 2 and the Spanish and Stagecraft are electives. So those are ways to get ahead with your elective credit, since you need to graduate with 7 total. And it also gets you ahead on the pathway. So with culinary, it moves you up faster. And with Spanish, you can move on to Spanish 2 by senior year, which some colleges may require 2 years of a world language. So this is a way for you to meet that requirement. The price for summer school for the Get Ahead program is $170 per session. Each session is 3 weeks long. There's one session in June and there's one session in July. If you go to the summer school website, it will tell you the exact dates, and it'll also tell you the due date to finally register, which is May 3rd for the Get Ahead. Credit recovery. So say you did not pass the class and you need it for senior year, obviously, so you can graduate on time. We do have those options as well, which can all be found on our summer school website. Do keep in mind there is a cost for credit recovery. It's $75. But you would want to check with your counselor to see which credit recovery course is best for you so that you can stay on track. Driver's Ed. If you have not taken Driver's Ed yet, it is okay, but please let your counselor know as soon as possible. Even if you took it privately, we just need to know that information since it is a requirement to graduate. Driver's Ed is now open, and the deadline is Friday, February 26th. This is one of those classes that gets filled up really quick. So if you have not taken it yet in school, do sign up over summer so that you can get a spot so that you're ready to, graduate on time. All right, the next slide. Okay, so course selection, some tips and resources. There are some things you need to keep in mind when you are picking classes. Obviously, the first thing is you need to pick classes that are required. So your core classes will automatically be there for you. So you don't have to worry about selecting it. It's just the placements you do need to consider. And that's when the level changes come into play. If you are not sure about whether you should take honors or regular, those will still be in your course selection. But the ones you do have to pick are your electives. And we want you to pick those based on who you are and your interests. So if you have a certain pathway that you are interested in, we want to help you keep picking classes that make sense for you. We also want you to pick classes that will get you ready for college. So if there's a certain college that you need 4 years of math or 4 years of science, and though that's not a required amount for high school, it may be a required amount for college. So we do encourage students who may know where they want to go to look at those admission requirements. We also want you to obviously pick classes you have passions about. So if you are picking classes because your friends are in it, that's not wise, because you and your friends may have totally different interests. And you may end up in a class you don't like just so that you can be with a peer, which is not helpful for you. So make sure you're picking classes that are appropriate for what your interests are, for your career, the cluster that you may have been exploring already, and college and training preparation. Also, Schoology. So if you have not gotten familiar with our Schoology page, you will want to, because it's super handy for when you are a senior. So Schoology courses, class of 2022, that has our district website on it. It has our curriculum guide on it. So if you're unsure about what a class is about, there's course descriptions on there. There's our pathways, which are also, if you have a certain career cluster or category you are focused on, that will show you all the classes that are electives that pertain to that career or that cluster exploration. Also, college admission info is on here. So if you're already getting, ready to plan for applications, which we do go more in depth senior year, that gives you timelines of when do colleges typically want you to start applying and what does that look like? So there's so much information on there. So we encourage you to start clicking through and getting familiar. Naviance, if you aren't familiar with that, you got to start getting familiar with it also, because that is where we have all of our career and college major information. So like it was previously said, when you were a freshman, you went on Naviance and you picked a career of interest to write a paper about. Some of you probably have changed your mind, but if you want to take that quiz again or that interest inventory to see what career matches up to your personality and interests, you can do that on Naviance, and that's helpful for students to, if they are still unsure of what classes to pick, that will guide you. Also, always talk to your teachers if you're unsure about what classes to pick. They have great recommendations based on, their subject area. And then school counselors, we're always here. We do individual meetings with all of you, and we're here to help you pick classes as well. All right, so I'm going to hand off the baton now to Mr. Boshin.
Hey, juniors and families of juniors. Wanted to just take a moment and, basically say welcome to the second semester of junior year. It's a critical semester, but I'm going to be talking a little bit more about the logistics of course selection. And so as this slide says, we're going to be basically locking the course selection process between March 1st and May 1st. And basically the reason behind that is we know that, the selections that you make have a lot of meaning behind them, that you want to take these courses, and we want to make sure that we can accommodate all of your course selection requests. Next year is going to be an exciting year for all of us as we merge the two campuses. And so between March and May, it allows us to do some of the logistical work behind the scenes to make sure that we have enough teachers and classrooms and sections of each course in order to accommodate all of your requests. After that, after May 1st, basically course changes and course change requests will be honored as long as there is space in those courses. So that's basically all the information that I have regarding schedule changes. The AP course drops, there will not be any after June 1st. So again, you want to really think about the courses that you're signing up for and make sure that they fit in with your plans after high school. So as we're getting towards the end of this presentation, once we're complete, you will actually be able to start entering your elective requests within Skyward. There are going to be opportunities for you to reach out to counselors and others to get additional help or have questions answered. Those can be during office hours or on asynchronous learning days. All of those options will be posted to Schoology, so be looking in your Schoology accounts. All of the selections, so you must finalize all of your selections by February 7th, which is coming up. So we just want to make sure that everyone's aware that February 7th is that deadline. After that, I know some counselors are really excited to pick your courses for you, but we would rather you pick the courses that you want to be in. And with that, I'll turn it over to Mr. Menke.
Hey, everybody. Thanks to those of you who are tuning in live, as well as those who are picking this up as a recording afterwards. Let me get Mr. Boshin out of there so I can have center stage. So what I'm going to do to wrap things up here, I got a couple of slides lingering here. So Skyward is where you are going to actually be entering your course selections. Again, if you have talked with a counselor over the last couple of weeks or days or months, you may have talked about classes for junior year, but you have to actually key them in and enter them. You'll do it in Skyward, which is the same place you did it last year. We will post this presentation in Schoology. The link is there in your Schoology course titled 2022 Post-Secondary Resources. There is, again, a big section there on course selection. And the first link there, which is highlighted in yellow, says Skyward link. Right underneath that, there is a brief tutorial video to help walk you through there. Again, your student ID, the username is your student ID. If you have not logged into Skyward before, you'll be prompted to create a password. If you have and you can't remember your password, there is a handy forgot password button there that you can use to be able to log in and have access to that. So I got one more slide after this. I will encourage students who are watching on YouTube right now, if you have questions, you can enter them into the posting there, and we will respond to them after this slide. So again, if you have individual questions, go ahead and type them right into the comment section, and we can see those, and we will respond to them as soon as I am done with this slide. So basically, again, kind of going back to something stated earlier in the presentation, senior year is pretty wide open. Most students will have an English class each semester. Consumer and government will likely be in there as well, unless you choose to take them over the summer. You'll have a PE both semesters, and then the rest of the day is yours to get and to select courses in a way that is going to help propel you to whatever ideas you have for after high school. So in total, unless you're graduating early or taking something during 0 hour, all ascending seniors will choose 14 courses in Skyward. And again, a year-long course counts as 2 because you're picking the first half of the class and the second half. So you'll have 14 total entries plus at least 3 alternate or backup classes. So again, 14 of your main entries, and then at least 3 backup or alternate courses, as they call them in Skyward. And with those alternates, please make sure that you select alternates that you would be okay being in, because every once in a while we do have to go to those. And the last thing we ever want to do is pick a class for a student. So make sure that you choose those alternates as extensions of your electives. So what we're going to do at this point here is in a moment turn things over. So again, you can enter in comments in YouTube there, and we can see those and we'll respond to them. So just quick recap of our resources as you enter any questions into the comment section there. Again, Schoology and the Student Services website are the 2 main go-tos. That's why they are highlighted there. That has the bulk of the information and resources to help you with the course selection process. And then you have us. You have the people as resources as well. Counselors, teachers, parents, talk with them. We are here as resources and references for you as well. I'm going to pull all the counselors back onto the screen here. So put your smiling faces back on. I see Mr. Boshin is ear to ear there. So again, students, at this time, you can enter questions you have into the comment section in YouTube, and we can see those questions and we can respond to them. So if you are curious about something, odds are somebody else watching this is. So we will pause for a moment and see if we get any questions there. Just recapping a couple of things. Again, we ask that students enter their courses by February 7th. Stay tuned to additional postings as far as when counselors will be available to answer general questions or help with any kind of tech needs that people may have. Ms. Frederick, any final thoughts you have on the course selection process?
I just did want to mention that there were some technical issues going on today with Skyward. So if you try to log in today and you cannot pick classes, try again tomorrow because we have Skyward working on this. So we know that there might be a little bit of an issue and it is being resolved. So we're working on it.
Yep. And I see we just had a comment pop up there from McKenna. Thank you, McKenna, for mentioning that. That's exactly what Ms. Frederick's talking about. So that will get resolved shortly. Kara Miller over at West asks a great question. What class do I take to work with the police department? I'll answer that in 2 ways. Way number 1 is, again, one of the resources that was mentioned earlier. We have this document called Courses or Electives by Career Cluster. So you could take a look at that. Again, that file is posted in Schoology, and that breaks up all of our classes by career cluster. And there is a cluster called Law Enforcement and Security. In particular, answering your question there, Ms. Miller, we have a couple electives that directly fall into that career cluster. We have a social science elective called Youth and Law. There's a science elective called Forensics that directly deal with that. Anything involving the word psychology, because you're going to be working with people if you're going to be working in law enforcement. And for ascending seniors, there's a new class next year called Social Science Internship, where you actually kind of intern with a business or an organization in town. In your case, Kara, that could very well be the McHenry Police Department. So definitely a one semester elective to take a look at there. Katrina over here on the east side asks a great question. Can I take the digital consumer class over the summer instead of in person? That is a wonderful question, and one that I've had asked a couple of times before. If summer school runs traditionally, then to my knowledge, it does have to be done in person. That digital option that was mentioned earlier is done during first semester of senior year. That's where you're entirely online. So Katrina, unfortunately, I think that with the specific way you're asking it, that would be unfortunately a no, but it is available in person over the summer if we're able to run it that way. And then you could certainly do it fully digitally, fully online during first semester senior year. Morgan asks a question here. What website do we use for summer school? There is a page on the district website with all sorts of summer school information. We also have links to summer school info in your Schoology course that the counselors run as well. That 2022 post-secondary resources, the course with the big orange arrow. Great questions. We'll pause for another moment to see if any other comments come in from our YouTube feed. Ms. Frederick, was there any other tidbits or nuggets that you have for our current juniors today?
I'm trying to think here. Just really think of what your goals are after high school and what can you do in high school to prepare yourself. Take advantage of the curriculum we have to really help you decide your strengths and weaknesses, your interests. And that's all I got, I think.
Yeah. We'll pause one more time. If anybody out there watching wants to enter any other questions in. Ms. Schock, I'm going to put you on the spot here as we pause to let our students ask any questions. If there's one piece of feedback or advice that you could give to students in this process, what would it be? And I think you're muted there, Ms. Schock.
Thank you. Make sure that you are thinking about this process individually and not, what everyone is doing. We can't guarantee that, if you and your friend are picking the same classes, that you're even going to be in the same classes together. And then also, I know friends and family also always have, really great insight as to what you should be doing. But we really want these courses to fit you as an individual and what your college and career and just post-secondary goals are in general. So make sure you're really thinking about what do you want as your next steps.
Excellent points. I could not ask for better feedback from our school counseling team. I'm not seeing any other comments or questions come in from YouTube. So with that being said, we will sign off in a moment. To those watching us live, thank you so much for your diligence. For those watching the recording, again, we are here to help with whatever your needs are. Your school counseling team cares about you and your future. Take care, everybody.